XRP is so boring and it never does anything. This is what I'm hearing across the board here on YouTube, on Twitter, all of that stuff. And guys, it doesn't make any sense. If you watch this video right now, I reckon by the end of it, you're probably going to feel a little bit more bullish. And if you see the data and you understand the data that we're going to talk about, you might change your mind. But please remember that nothing in my videos is ever financial advice because I am not a financial advisor. And one thing we're seeing in the market right now is very clearly Bitcoin following the global M2 money supply. Guess what happens when Bitcoin goes up? The rest of the market goes up, and then hopefully our altcoins will finally go up. And yes, today is a red day, guys. You just saw it shift from green to red. Why is the market red? It's because Bitcoin is down or was down. It's starting to bounce. But why was Bitcoin down? Well, it's because the market, the Nasdaq, the S&P was down yesterday. Why was it down? Well, it's because Trump came out and said something about tariffs. He was like, well, I'm going to put 25% tariff on Apple and I'm going to put a 50% tariff on the European Union. So suck on that. And then the market went, no, and it collapsed very slightly because I think the market can digest this sort of news a little bit better than it did before, because this is what happened last time. I think the market understands that this is posturing and negotiation tactics from Trump, and probably it won't result in what he says at the start. It will probably get reduced just like it has for every other time. But that's why the market is down. That's why altcoins are down. And XRP right now is sitting right in our support zone. And I think that this could be a great opportunity if you are like me and you already have a position, or you're looking for a position. Now, I'm not going to tell you where you can get in or where you can get out. That is totally up to you and your strategy. You need to figure that out yourself, because I'm not a financial advisor, just a guy sitting in his room. But let's take a look at the data that we have here. Now, this is from Crypto Insights UK. I was chilling with him today. Again, every time I talk to him, I'm more and more bullish on this market. But he says that XRP Bitcoin range low sweep with a bullish divergence is forming right now, and we need to watch this area very, very closely. And he's been pointing at Bitcoin dominance. Now, why is Bitcoin dominance so important? Well, basically, as the market rises, right, we see Bitcoin dominance. If Bitcoin is rising, we see normally Bitcoin's dominance rising at the same time. But when we see these big drop-offs of Bitcoin dominance, that's when we normally see nice alt seasons, because guess what happens? Liquidity flows from the Bitcoin into the smaller caps, and that reduces Bitcoin's dominance because the market cap of Bitcoin in comparison to the altcoins goes down. It might not even mean that Bitcoin's price goes down. It's its dominance over the market. That's why this chart is really important to understand. And what Crypto Insights UK is saying here, and by the way, go and follow him. If you like XRP and you like to stay up to date, go and follow this guy. He knows what he's talking about. But look, previous alt season start point is up here in this region, and you see this little circle right here. This is where Bitcoin's dominance just fell off briefly. What happened last time when that happened? During this time, XRP's price went up 470%. We spoke about this already, but $12.60, if we had a similar gain to that again, would be where XRP went this time round. Now, there's no guarantees there, but if that does happen, guys, $12 is all the way up here. And I know a lot of you guys are like, nah, well, XRP is going to $10,000. Yeah, fair enough, but it's not going to happen in this bull market, in my opinion. But that is a lovely move. Look at that, 400%. And guess what? We will absolutely print money in this trade if that happens. And that's why I still have this position open and why I'm trading it the way I am. Now, we've been speaking about a massive whale here on this channel who was holding an XRP trade, was also holding Pepe and Sui, and has since closed all of those trades, apart from the Bitcoin and Pepe trade, and moved some of those profits, and he did make some losses, into the Bitcoin trade. Now a $1.2 billion trade. And this right here gives me cause for concern for the price of Bitcoin. If the price of Bitcoin is concerned, then we got to be concerned about the rest of the market. With that said, we may have an opportunity both right now and in the near term. So if you do want to trade yourself, remember we have a link to Blowfin down there in the description, guys. guys, giving away XRP bonuses for my community here. So you can sign up down there. And of course, we have the copy trading that we're doing over there, a test that I'm taking part in. And guys, it's not always profitable instantly. Right now, there are Ethereum trades that have been opened, grid trading. The algorithm is currently grid trading, and these are in a slight loss. And this is something you need to get used to. You need to stomach the volatility. So don't mess with something like this if you cannot stomach the volatility. Stick with spot or stick with cash because there's absolutely no volatility there. But if you want to check this out, guys, Blowfin, linked in the description. No KYC VPN, trade from anywhere in the world. Copy trading, futures or spot, it's totally up to you. But with that said, guys, my worry here is that, as you know, I basically think there's a lot of manipulation in this market, right? So if there is a lot of manipulation in this market and these manipulators, these institutions, these whales, whatever it is, are trying to grab the liquidity in the market, if they can see $1 billion trade, $1.2 billion to be precise, right here, right? If my thesis is correct, this could be hunted. Now, that trade will be liquidated at a price of 104,000. What does that do? Push us down 4% and pushes us right into this support zone. If Bitcoin went down here, even just on a technical level, that would still be a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low structure and would still be bullish. So what I'm doing right now is I'm preparing for that to happen. I don't know if it will happen. I have no idea if it will just continue up here and smash through all this resistance right now. Maybe that will happen and I'm prepared for that. But on the other side of the coin, I'm preparing for a push to the upside, convince people the market's fine, and then bing, a big annihilation there. Grab the liquidity from this trade, grab the liquidity from all the traders who are still extremely long. You can see the market has already liquidated $500 million in the last 24 hours for long positions, because guess what? People love to go long at resistance rather than going long at support, which is what I like to do here on this channel. So I'm going to continue to keep you up to date with that, but this is giving me cause for concern. This big trade here, the uncertainty around the news in the market, these tariffs. And remember, this is happening on a weekend, guys. So we don't know what's going to happen on Monday. Monday could open bad and the markets could collapse. But like I said, I think that could still be an opportunity because I think that Bitcoin is the asset where people would start to flood into if they see more uncertainty. However, I don't think the market is going to get that uncertain. I think we're actually going to continue higher, but I could be wrong. How do I brace myself in case I'm wrong? I take profits from my trades and I use stop losses to make sure that if I end up being wrong, we can't absolutely ride all the way down and liquidate my account. That's what you have to do, and you have to be in it to win it, guys. So be safe out there. Prepare for the worst, expect the best, and hopefully we can continue to absolutely print. And guys, if you do want to trade, remember, Blowfin down there in the description. Get yourself these XRP bonuses. You can trade on an exchange that doesn't ask you for any personal details right now, but please do your own research. Read the terms of service, understand what you're getting involved in, and always have a large array of exchanges that you can jump between in case something happens. That's why I have more than one linked in the description. There's more than one bonus down there. I actually trade on loads of different exchanges at the same time. I jump between them. This diversifies my risk, okay? Because none of this is 100% safe and you need to understand those risks. With that said, guys, hopefully I've provided some value and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace from me.